Alright, so here I am at the shop, working on the template again. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting ready to plot out just a single truck right here. So let me show you what I got. It's just the truck pattern that I'm going to use, which is spots, which is 3 spots. And so I'm just going to do a test cut of that. And we're going to see if it actually is the right size. Alright, so you can't really see the marks really well, but I have measured them. I can see them pretty good. I have measured them with this ruler, and they are exactly what they're supposed to be, 2.5 inches long, which is really good. That means this should work. But here's what it looks like, since I can't show you on the actual vinyl. It's just got these 6 little plus marks and a center line. On the screen it's showing a bounding box, but that's not actually cut out. So now I've tested this and the dimensions are actually exactly correct. I can now cut the full truck pattern. And so again, this is the bounding box, but that's not what we're looking at. That's not what's going to print. It's just going to print the little plus marks and this center line and a couple other measurement lines that I didn't delete over there. Send. And there it goes. It plots away. Unfortunately, it's wasting more than I'd like because of this bounding box. If I wish I'd be able to move the cut all the way to the edge, but it's fine. And what I'll do is I'll cut off across, and I'll cut just the strip I need, and then we'll have a narrower roll that I'll be able to put up on the shelf. So I'm not wasting 40 inches or 32 inches, I think it is, of this entire roll. So that should be done. So I'm just gonna do the cutting out, and we're gonna work on getting it put on the template. So there we go. So first off, this is everything. This is all I need. So all the rest of it, there was a strip about this wide that was waste, and then all the rest of it was able to go in a roll to be used for something else. So it's not that wasteful. So the thing I have to worry about now is the vinyl is actually really flexible. So if I take a piece of this off and show you. Once it takes the backing off, it's stretchy and it's bendy, especially when it's hot. Thankfully it's not 112 degrees inside today. But I still don't want it to be flexing and bending as I'm mounting it to the back and making my pattern. So what I'm going to do is between the 2 points, I don't want to cover my marks, but up into those points, I'm just going to put down some masking tape, because the paper is going to add some rigidity there. Perfect. There. So that little bit of paper will help keep it straight across the back of the board. So I've got my center lines marked. So what I want to do is I want to see really quick. So this mark here, right there, and right there are where I want the middle truck mount holes to line up with. It's about there and about there. So that means I'm just marking the ends, the distance to the ends, because this is where I'm going to mark my center line so that it's not covered up by this. So there we go. So I've actually got two lines. Probably looks like one line on the camera. There's a tiny space between the two lines. And that gap lets me see exactly where the center is. So I can line that up exactly center, because I can see the center line. If I peel this back, you can see there's a center line. Come on. There. That cut goes along the center, and I can see that really easily. So, I'm going to put a narrow strip of tape on that center line really quick here, because that will hold it together. Okay, so now is the part where I put this on. So I started trying to put it on and I wasn't filming apparently, so I'm gonna go through this again. So I'm spraying the board down to keep it wet. I tried alcohol first and it was too tacky. Then water, still too tacky. Then Windex, that should make it a lot more slidey. So I'm just trying to get it lined up on both sides with all my marks, and the wetness of it allows me to move the template around without it sticking. So I'm just holding it tight and wiggling it back and forth, and that's keeping it taut. And that way, as I move it forward or backwards, it's not bending; it's staying straight. So I'm right on center on this side, a little off center on this side, and a little more this way. Okay, I think that's good. Aha. So now all I've got to do is I grab a squeegee, and you can use like a credit card or something for your squeegee, but I'm going to use a real squeegee. And what I can do is I can squeegee out most of the water and Windex and alcohol that I sprayed on here out from under the board or under the vinyl, and that way it'll start to tack better, and it'll dry a lot quicker. So while I wait for that to evaporate, because I want it to be stuck down really good, I want it to be I don't want it to be moving around, so I'm just going to let it dry here. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to get stuff ready in the shop for actually drilling these holes. But yeah, the template's on there. I can see the marks, and as soon as this is a little drier and a little tackier and a little not as movingable, I'll be ready to drill some holes. It'll be sweet. So I've made a couple mistakes. First off, this masking tape absorbs a lot of the water and doesn't dry very fast. And I got a lot over on this side. And because this board is sealed, when you use the squeegee and you squeegee out the water, it actually dries really fast underneath because you squeegee it out of the water. But we're under here where the masking tape was. Over here actually dried a lot faster, but over here it must have gotten a lot wetter. It just wasn't drying. So what I actually ended up doing is I just grabbed the masking tape and just pulled it out like that. It was so wet still, it was able to do it without even bugging the vinyl. The other mistake is I was supposed to do the vinyl on this side. And here's why. So, okay. So, normally your trucks mount on the bottom of the board like this, right here. And you want to always drill from the side of your trucks. That way, if your drill bit wanders at all, or if it's not perfectly straight up and down or whatever, that it will still line up with the truck. It doesn't matter if the spacing is incorrect on the top side, as long as it's correct on the bottom side. But here, that's flipped, because I am putting this on top of the bottoms of the boards, it's actually this surface that you want to be perfect. So I should have done it on this side, so that as I drill and do my marks from this side, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly straight over here, because over here and correspondingly the deck that's against this will have the exact right position over here. But it's not a big deal because I've got a drill press, and I can just use the drill press and I'll make straight holes and it won't matter. But a lot of people I know won't have a drill press, so it's important to realize, which side you drill the holes from is important, because one side is going to be more accurate than the other. So those are the two mistakes, but it's dry now. So here's my solution, right? I've got, okay, let me grab things. Okay, drill things. So here's the solution for my bushings. So this is just a pop rivet, a small pop rivet. And I went around the shop, I went around looking for anything I could find that might work. I was at one point thinking about just getting rod stock and putting on the drill press and drilling my own drill bushings. And I found these. These will work perfect. So all you do is you pop out the center of these things and you drill them in. This is my little test piece. They're the exact right thickness of this template I've made. So this is the scrap. You can see there's the piece I cut off to fill the corner there. So it's the right thickness and everything. And it's not a 3/16 inner diameter. It's actually 5/64, which is a lot smaller. But that's actually a nice pilot hole size. So I'm able to do that. And also important, get off there, is it's flush on this one side. And having a flush side is important because I can have a router on the top here, and if the router hits a bump, it'll make a bump on the side that I'm routing. So this is sticking out just a little bit, but just a file zipping across there will flatten it perfectly flat, really fast. So yes, that's my solution, is pop rivets for the drill bushing. And it's aluminum, so it's softer than a tempered steel one would be, but it's also pretty thick. And they're pop rivets. If it starts wearing out, and these things are cheap. So let me. I also got this. This is just a sharpened nail, and I can start marking my holes. So can you see? Can you see? So I'm just going to be lining it up by hand and just pushing down like that. And that's how I'm going to be making all my marks. And like that. And that'll leave a mark I can see once I take the vinyl off. And I can take that to the drill press. And I can, this will help guide the drill bit. And I'll be good. Okay, so we're back in the wood shop part of the shop. And I can take this vinyl off. And they're pretty good, it looks like. Yeah, right there. You can see the holes, the little divots. So now I've just got to set up the drill press, this thing, to drill it out. Right, here we go. So just 2x3s should work fine for this. And yeah, that's just high enough where it's off the table. So I'm going to start with this far end. And I'm using the 5/64 bit, and then I'll drill it out to the 1/8 inch after I got these all done. So I'm just going to do it slowly to make sure I don't get any drift. Let's get that out of the way. So the 5/64 is done. So I'm just drilling out to the 1/8. All right, there we go. I got 3, 6, 9, 12 holes there. 12 holes there. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to. For some reason, the RPM on this thing is really slow, and I didn't want to mess with it because I don't know why they have it slow. So I just did it slowly. But there we go. So now it's ready for me to put the rivets in. So this is the side that's going to be up when we're routing. So we're going to put the rivets on this side. And it's going to stop it from being completely flat on the board. But I think that'll be perfectly fine. It'll be a very small gap. I'd rather have the gap on this side than a bump on this side messing up the router. So I'll start with a tiny bit of glue in each hole, just a very small amount. This is mostly to keep the things from twisting. The drill bushings from twisting as you drill them. Should be good. Then grab a hammer. I'll just pop these in. And that. Put that one in. Like that. And there you go. All right. And there's that. Then I just gotta flatten these off on this side. And I mentioned that's just a file. Some quick file action. Oh, that is sweet. There we go. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of the file. Flush again. And you know what? That looks so cool. I think if we could find some rivets that had the inner diameter of the 3/16, so you're actually lining your truck holes. You know, so your finished board would look like this. This is actually, this is just a template. So these holes are undersized. But if you had the actual size holes and lined them like that, that'd be sweet. That would just be cool. So that might be something to look into. All right, so this is the last step. Okay. So I've got a piece of scrap wood over here, and I've clamped the template to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out the hole pattern onto this scrap piece of wood. And with that, I'm going to test that I can mount my trucks. You take one of these trucks off here, mount it on here, make sure that it's got the interference spacing I want, that it lines up, that it fits, and and if it doesn't work, I'm ruining a piece of scrap wood instead of one of my nice boards that is a beauty, and you just can't be ruining one of those. So testing it out on a piece of scrap first. So here we go. You notice I'm not using a drill press. I'm not anticipating using a drill press with the template. All right, so it's time to do a test here. I'm just going to hammer these in. We are recording. We are recording. It looks pretty good. Let's see. Let's see. Perfect. Oh, that was amazingly perfect. It's so perfect. So that's just what perfection is right there. That's it. Perfect. At least that set is. So I'm going to check all the sets except for this one, just to double check. I missed a hole, so I can't check that one. But I'm just going to double check everything just to be totally sure. But this is really promising. They're not straight, but that's because because I drilled the pilots out freehand. Anyway, I'm gonna check the rest of the holes out and then report back. So I tested all 5 sets of holes, and they all work just as well as the first one. So I'm incredibly happy with how this has turned out. It's just, I don't know, I'm just really excited. Never before has there been a project that we've made with such perfect bolt holes, because that's usually the thing we mess up. So, super exciting. The only thing I have left to do tonight, I think, is just cleaning up. I think this is done. I think this template is ready to go. So, if I have time tomorrow, which I might not, I might be doing school stuff. I haven't done any of my online courses in a month because I got busy with work, and also Zelda came out, So I need to catch up. But if I get any time tomorrow, I'll be cutting out this board and starting this first board that'll be made from the template. So there we go. Super excited. And you can see the rivets, even though they stick out on the front just a tiny bit. But if I use just a spring clamp here and here, and that'll hold the thing sturdy, you can see it doesn't cause any problems. So yeah. Anyway, so the template is done. It's done. The template's done, and we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. And I think that's everything I need to say. So there we go. Finished template. Longboard technology. Over and out. Actually, I want to take a quick look at how the spacing turned out for this wheel. So I've got it perfectly lined up with my little template holes, and it's at the full extension, and you can see from the top, oh, it's just the perfect gap. So these are 75 millimeter reels. If you have 80 millimeter reels, you just use this other hole out here, and they'll fit. So 80 millimeter kegels will work. Then if you have 70 millimeter wheels, or 65-ish, you'll be able to go even closer to this other set. So yeah, it's perfect. That turned out perfect. The placement of them, and the fact that they all are the right. It's perfect. It's amazingly perfect. Yeah, instead of making the bolt holes to accommodate different riding styles and to accommodate different trucks and the different truck spacing. Since I'm designing, well, at least with this template, maybe there might be other templates I might design. I might make like a Randall template or something with a different cutout pattern that can accommodate Randalls if enough people want Braincleaners that are with Randalls. But for this template, it's just about the Braincleaner. So I'm not accommodating any other trucks or any other styles. So the only thing that these different spacings are for is different wheel sizes. So there we go. It's amazing. The Braincleaner is amazing.